while since I posted. This is my third video ever, but I hope to be posting more in the future. Today's reading is just a general topic, and my hope is to get some more specific topics based off of what comes up today. Alright, so your choices are pile number 1, the gold candle, and the tome card. And that's number 25 if that matters to you. Pile number 2, and the silver candle. With the bird card, which is number 3, if that matters. Pile number 3, purple candle, and the seer card, which is number 10, if that matters. Alright, timestamps below. I will see you at your reading. Alright, if you chose the gold candle, this is your reading. Okay, we're going to start off with figuring out who you are right now. Who you've become in this most recent life cycle, if that's how you want to talk about it. Alright, tome. Let's take a look. Okay, tome. The tome enlightens, calmness, steady, slow, devotion, wisdom, new ideas, enlightenment. Alright, so tome is also another, it means book. So maybe you've been, studying up a little bit recently. Let's see here, what else? Calmness, enlightenment, new ideas, wisdom, slow. Alright, so you've been taking your time recently. You've been maybe cultivating some new knowledge. You may just be the sort of person who likes to, curl up with a good book. This is where you're coming from. So you're sort of like the studious person. We might catch you in a library if we catch you outside of your house. Okay, so let's see what aspect of yourself you are nurturing, who you're becoming. All right, boundaries. Set healthy boundaries. Respect yourself and others. All right, so the light aspect is respect, protection, and self-care. And the shadow aspects are overextension, violation, and exploitation. Okay. So, you might know a lot, but that doesn't mean you have to tell everybody everything that you know. It doesn't mean that you owe anybody anything that you have learned. It might be, you might be the sort of person who, or you might be at a point of where you move in the shadows, so to speak. All right, let's find out a little bit more information about how you can nurture these healthy boundaries. All right, warrior, tests and trials. Okay. So I'm going to say that you might be tested, right? So this is saying that you're going to be tested. I think this is why you probably need to cultivate, strong boundaries. But you have a warrior spirit, and your warrior spirit is going to help you get through what it is that you need to get through. All right, let's find out some more information about how to nurture these boundaries, about how to use who you are as this bookworm to nurture these healthy boundaries that you need. All right. Okay. So she who questions. All right. So I think you're already, you're very into research. You love knowledge. I think this aspect of yourself, this curiosity, this sort of propensity to, to do research, to question things, to not just blindly follow. I think that, continue on doing that and feel confident in that, because it looks like you might need it. All right. You might need to be confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. All right, let's get some more information about, just how to nurture these healthy boundaries, given where you are right now. All right. So for this, it looks like as a warrior, you are going to have to interact with others in some way, whether that's, calling on an army or interacting with these people who are testing you. So even though you are practicing and nurturing healthy boundaries, you are not going to be able to do this from where you are sitting right now. And this isn't saying that you necessarily have to change anything. I think things might come to you. Some tests, some trials might come to you. And that's why you need to evoke these boundaries. But certainly, you have what it takes to get through these trials. And interaction with others is going to be a big part of it, whether that's people who are on your side backing you up, or people who are, I guess your ops or whatever, who you're going to have to, persevere against and, hold firm to who you are when they try to come at you. All right, let's get a little bit more information about how to sort of nurture these healthy boundaries. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I think that your propensity to be in the library studying, your curiosity really is going to lead you to success. So whether you like it or not, you're going to be pulled out of this library a little bit, but that's going to be good for you in the end. All right. Maybe you'll use your curiosity and your penchant for knowledge to get you here. All right. So this is looking good so far. Now it's time to go to the tarot. All right. So let's get a little bit more information about these boundaries that you have to evoke. And all right, well, there you go, Queen of Swords. She's kind of like the queen of boundaries, right? So swords, the Suit of Swords is all about, thought and logic and reason, and being able to speak well. And the Queen of Swords is well known for sort of cutting off things that are not good for her. So sometimes she's known as like the divorcee or whatever. So she, cut off a marriage that wasn't working for her. That's, maybe part of her lore, I guess you could say. But that's your first card, is the Queen of Swords. All right, let's see what you get next. I'm going to put her up here. All right, what's coming next for the gold candle? Magician, very nice. All right, so when you cut off what you don't need, you're going to figure out, oh, you actually have everything that you do need. Now that all this clutter isn't getting in your way, you realize, hey, I actually do have what it takes. I have everything I need. that is part of, I think, part of your sort of evoking these boundaries. You know, like, hey, look, like, you aren't actually giving me anything I don't have. In fact, you're taking away. You're taking away from me. All right, Ace of the Pentacles. I love 6, but we're going to put him away because I just wanted to take one. All right, Ace of Pentacles. So something new is starting, like new in your material world. Maybe it's a new job or a new project. So that's good, exciting. All right, Hermit. Well, this is kind of where you've been a little bit. You know, you've kind of been in the library, you know, learning. And that's all right. I don't know, maybe you're a Virgo. Maybe you know a Virgo. I don't know. That's the Hermit card is the Virgo card. All right, 7 of Swords. All right, so 7 of Swords very often kind of like a lying and cheating sort of energy, like a trickster energy, and this might be part of your tests and trials. You might have somebody who, you know, tests you by running some game on you, and you are just going to have to be your warrior self and get through it. All right, let's find out a little bit more. Nope. We'll take that. Well, we could take both of them, I guess. All right. Chariot and the 3 of Pentacles. All right, so this is kind of, it's funny that this is coming right by this interaction card, because the Chariot is like moving forward, full speed ahead, like nothing can stop me, nothing's in my, like kind of like the warrior, you know, right? But then the 3 of Pentacles is all about like harmonious work relationships. So I think you might have a little army behind you or with you, which is freaking great. All right, so let's get some clarifications. All right, Queen of Swords, King of interesting. So you know, when the King and Queen in a single suit come out, that very often, and a lot of readers will sort of interpret that as like some sort of counterpart relationship. So like a romantic counterpart, I guess. You know, people like to use terms like twin flame or whatever, which is fun, you know, fine. But if that's something that you're into, you know, that might play a role here. So I guess this is saying that whoever you are interacting with, whether you're, you know, in a relationship or, you know, you're single and you might get a new one, whoever you are with, either currently or in the future, this person better not be adding any other baggage, right? They better be protecting you from other, you know, from the baggage that you might get. So you guys work together to sort of, you know, keep each other safe, and you don't add to each other's nonsense. Yeah, please don't do that. Please don't add to a partner's nonsense. You know, we want positive things in love. I know, you know, things happen, but love is supposed to be positive. It's not supposed to be a battlefield. All right, let's clarify this Magician. Death. Okay, so let's see here. So Death and the Magician together, there is a big change coming, right? And this big change, I think we've already talked about it. Basically, it's like you cutting away all this clutter that's like not good for you. And when you do that, you find out you have everything you need. So I think that's a big change. I think you're going to be moving away from just letting everybody put all their crap like on you. You're not taking that anymore, which is, I love that. I love that for you. Gold candle people. All right. So your Ace of Pentacles, it looks like you're going to be it looks like you're starting some hard work right now, which is great. Because I think that's, you know, gonna help you sort of stay on track, not be sort of inundated with other people's, crap, so to speak. All right, let's clarify this. Hermit, Judgment. All right, so I think you'll find that when you look inward, your judgment on its own. So I think that like the main message here, you have to cultivate these boundaries, is that people might come in and like mess with you, and they might even come in and act like they're going to help you or that you'll do better with them, but they're lying. That's not true. Like you're not better off with them. You've worked so hard and you continue to work so hard. Your judgment is strong and it's good. Yours alone, by yourself. Right? Which is why you don't want anybody coming in unless they can be as discerning as you. All right, let's see. Let's clarify this. Seven of Swords, King of Wands. All right, so yeah, I mean, the Wands are a great suit, right? They're very passionate. So I think what this is saying is, don't let yourself get bogged down. So King of Wands is great. Nothing against King of Wands. Love the King of Wands. But I think for you right now, this is saying that if someone comes in with a bunch of passion, kind of directing you, telling you what to do, blah, 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 and it doesn't really make sense or resonate with you, that's somebody to cut out. I'm sorry, but it is. This is somebody you don't need right now, and someone you can be like, hey, look, your ideas, your passion, freaking great. Not for me, not right now. Maybe we can revisit something later, but right now, I have to stay focused, and I have to remember that I've worked really hard to have this good judgment. All right. So let's clarify this last combo. This army, I guess, right? This little army that you have behind you. All right, yeah. So, okay. So I think juggling between moving forward on your own and getting help from others is just going to be key for you. And I think that's where your boundaries are really going to be coming in. So you might even have you might have King of Wands types who are pretty good, fine. But, you have to ask yourself, is this passion from this other person getting you where you want to be or not? And if not, you might have to be, a little bit ruthless. You might have to say, hey, I can't take you with me on this mission right now. So I think it's really because somebody might come in with the best of intentions, but if they're mopping the floor with you, whether they realize it or not, even if they come in with good intentions, they're going to end up being, a test and a trial for you. And we just don't want that detour for you. All right. So let's get some timing. But I think the main message here is just that, you've worked really hard. You are going to continue to work hard. You have everything that you need, and it's time for you to tell people who aren't helping you to kick rocks. I'm not telling you to be rude to them. You can find a nice way to say it, but you can be like, hey, look, I gotta do this thing on my own. This has got to be a me thing. Or, thank you for your input. I want to do this other thing. Something like that. You just have to be able to speak up and tell them no. All right, let's get some timing for you. All right. Okay, so full moon in Capricorn. So that would be like July. Right? All right, let's put that here. So the end of a tough cycle approaches. Or we could put that here. Yeah, so maybe people really have been kind of feeding off of your energy and your abilities, and like it's time to just not tell them where you're good. All right. Yeah, you are good enough. Right when I said that, you're good. It came out, you're good enough. So full moon in Virgo, that would be, February, March. Okay. And let's see what happens here. Fiery climax approaches. Okay. So that's nice. Full moon in Aries. So that would be like right around now. All right. So maybe we could say like this is like a year ahead. So you're ending this tough cycle of people kind of violating your energy. I mean, pretty much, right? Yeah, I think that you have had a lot of that, and that is a big change. And you don't, if they're not lifting you up, they're bringing you down. You don't have to tell them that. You don't have to be mean, but that you have to move like that because you're good enough. And I don't know about this, but this is exciting. I don't know, maybe this person is, the two of you are very logical, very, sort of thoughtful. It's really your speech that's kind of getting you to, I don't know, fall in love, if that's what this is. But you never know, maybe something fiery can happen from that. Either way, it looks like you sort of, holding your own, being confident in yourself, and, not taking anything, even if it's help, quote unquote, that you don't need, that's not getting you to where you want to go. Just say thanks, but no thanks. But, yeah, that's what I have for you, gold pile. So thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you again. Okay, so if you chose this silver candle, this is your reading. All right, so let's start off with who you are. Nope. Bird. All right. So bird, number 3. All right, I don't know if 3 is a magic number for you, but it very often can be for people. Okay, so bird, signs, messengers, information, fears. The bird whispers secrets. All right, so I'm going to say that you're kind of at a place where you are looking for answers, and you're looking sort of for signs, I guess, from the universe, and you might not be telling everybody that this is, part of your life or your worldview or the way you even, seek answers. That might not be part of your outward persona, and hence a secret. But it is something that you are doing. You are looking for answers, and you're looking to, I don't want to say the occult necessarily, but you're not looking in, scientific journals for your answers right now. And that's okay. That's all right. There's a time and a place for, I don't want to say everything, but, different things for different times and places. All right. So what do you need to or want to, or what are you nurturing in yourself right now? Grace. Okay. So, elegance. So, light attribute, elegance, poise, and dignity. Shadow attribute is clumsiness, awkwardness, and unease. You move through life with grace and elegance. Let your spirit shine. Okay. So, yeah, you're maybe like not at a place where you feel super sure of yourself. Maybe that's why you're kind of looking in these unusual places for answers, like, I don't know, watching a tarot reading on YouTube. And you're really trying to cultivate, you're trying to glow up, right? You're trying to sort of cultivate this confidence. Yeah, all right, let's find out a little bit more about how you can, cultivate this grace and confidence. All right, at this point. All right, okay. Constant rescuer, oppressor. These came out together, which is interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and say that this is not what you need, right? This is obvious, right? I'm going to go ahead and say that you may have had experiences in the past where someone came in to help you, right? They came in to help you, and then it was their way or the highway. And that's not a fun place to be. And I'm sorry that is what you are experiencing. But if that's what you're experiencing, it makes perfect sense that you're feeling nervous, right? Someone comes in to help you, but like not really, right? They like want something from you. They want you to be a specific way. Like they don't want to help you. Yeah, that sucks. But you know what? Like, it's relatable. I think a lot of people have been there. And just because you've been there, maybe you've been there quite a bit. Maybe that's the only place you've ever been. But doesn't mean there's a way out. And so, this reading, I think, is going to be about that way out. All right, that way out of this sort of these strings attached people, right? Okay, so how can you nurture your self-confidence? All right. You can see my jacket. I probably need to get it dry cleaned. All right. Through hope and nurture. So empathy, gentleness, insight, love, hope, relationships. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to give up on goodness, right? So these people have not helped you, but there are people there who can, and in the meantime, you can help yourself. All right, and don't give up hope. All right, let's get some more information about how to nurture this sort of self-confidence and how to get away from this pattern of someone coming in to help you just to kind of mop the floor with you, Ugh, hate that. Paradox, yeah, okay. So, there are so many different paradoxes. I used to study philosophy and logic, and basically a paradox, an example of is basically a problem, right, that contradicts maybe a lot of the received or information or your assumptions. Sometimes a paradox can even just contradict itself. Those are called self-referential paradoxes. And maybe these kinds of relationships have been paradoxical for you. They're supposed to be helpful for you, but they really just ended up hurting you. Oh boy, I understand that. I understand that a lot. I'm sorry about that. Okay. All right, what other information, what do you need to know about nurturing this self-confidence? All right. Okay. Rejection. All right, so let's just stick with that. Just, yeah. Rejection is divine protection. So maybe you had a situation where like this person tried to save you and somebody had to be rejected, whether it was you or them or what. An offer may have been made, and you may have had to reject it, or your offer may have been rejected. But as far as like using this, like as far as using these cards as information about how to, you know, cultivate this self-confidence, this grace, I would say that this rejection is about being discerning. So, you know, these people might come in, try to help you, but the second you feel this, they're no longer helping you, and it's time for them to go. So you can cut them loose, you can reject them, and they'll be okay. And you'll be okay. All right. Let's get some more information from the tarot. All right. So how do we get from a place of sort of secret confusion, maybe even a place of shame, I guess, to, you know, self-assuredness, self-conscious? All right, Queen of Swords. It makes sense. So it's funny, this Queen of Swords came out in the same spot in one of the other piles, so you might want to check that out. But yeah, so the same idea, you know, just want to cut away anybody that's not helping you. And if they come in under the pretense of help and they're hurting you, they can go. All right. They can kick the rocks. All right. No, I'm not like that. All right, Page of Wands. Okay. So, yeah, so I think, like, you know, I think it's good to nurture your passions, to feel hopeful about the things that are important to you, that make you feel alive. You know, I think you can get a lot of hope from that. All right. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, Ace of Cups, an offering. That's great. So I think this is about more like filling up your own cup. Because these people who are coming in and saying, hey, look, I got you, I can fill up your cup. Yeah, not really, right? I think it's you. And it's the things that matter to you that's going to get you filled up. All right, Page of Swords. All right, so you might have to do some investigation. So a lot of times people use the Page of Swords to mean like spying or something like that. And I can see that. But basically, you know, the Page is the you know, most junior member of the court cards. The Swords is all about sort of thought, logic, reason. So you're in the very sort of like nation stages of your, you know, the way that you think about yourself. So this card just dropped and I'm going to take it. Ten of Wands. Okay. So this is all about a burden. Yeah, so I think, and it's coming on top of the rescuer. So let's just say, like, I think these people that, like, rescue you, I think they are not rescuing you. I think they are nothing more than another burden for you to carry, and you can cut them loose. You are perfectly fine rejecting these people, right? Okay. Let's get a little bit more info. Okay. Oh, okay. So the Devil and the Emperor. Okay, so the Devil, you know, usually has to do with like with addictions, you know, we've got these people who are sort of chained to the devil. They can't get away from the devil. The Emperor is about, he's the King of Kings. But I think in this context, we have the devil over the Emperor. I think somebody's coming in and they're telling you they're the King of Kings, right? And maybe they are the King of Kings. I'm not saying they don't have the potential to be the King of Kings, but right now they're coming in like the King of Kings to rescue you, and it's just keeping you stuck. It's like they're not helping you. Maybe they can, but they're not. You know? So I think that your self-confidence is best nurtured if you just accept that whoever this would-be hero is, they're not helping anyone. They're doing the opposite. They're keeping you stuck. Right? And it makes sense that that's a paradox. You know, because this person's supposed to come in to help you, but they don't. They hurt you, you know. I'm not even saying they mean to hurt you. They probably, you know, who knows? Everybody has a different situation. But, you know, a King of Kings wants to help, but the King of Kings doesn't know how. And they need to get gone at this point right now. So let's clarify, get some more info. All right, so this Queen of Swords, what else do we need to know about her? All right, Lovers. Okay. So, you know, anything that makes you feel uncertain, just get rid of it. I mean, not anything, but like I think that like your certainty or uncertainty could be a very good guide for you right now. If you feel uncertain and shaky and you think, hey, like this line that I'm getting fed by this King of Kings who wants to save me, like it's not making you feel confident. You know, it's making you feel less confident. And if it's making you feel less confident, then like you don't need it. Not right now. Now is not the time. All right. Okay. All right. Page of Wands. Clarify that. Okay. Again, so like if somebody's coming in and you feel like they're kind of tricking you, they're like selling you a bridge in Brooklyn, I don't know, they're whatever idiomatic phrases come to mind about tricksters. I think you can sort of mitigate this, solve this by your passions. You know, even if you haven't really explored your passions lately or maybe ever, and you have to like start from zero or from scratch, like that's okay. That's all right. You know, anything that gives you confidence is good. Anything that makes you feel shaky right now is not good for you right now. I mean, it's good to challenge ourselves, but right now, it's not what you need. All right. So, you may have to change your perspective. So, you do have to change your perspective. And it's not in a way that, like, your innate perspective is wrong. No. The opposite. You've been out here looking for signs, getting these people to come in, swoop in, but they're not helpful. So I think your change in perspective is really just to like see yourself as the source of your own happiness, right? Like, I think you haven't done that before. You've only ever, like, whether it was your own decision or people told you that or whatever, you've always looked to other people to get you, like, to get you things, you know? And I think it's time to really fill your own cup. It's really time for you to fill your own cup. And that's new for you. You might have to completely change your worldview. Maybe not, but like you're gonna have to change some perspective, and you're gonna have to maybe work a little bit harder at just believing that this happiness, this cup gets filled by you. All right. Okay. All right. So, okay, here we have hope and we have healing. So I think this, you're in the beginning of speaking up for yourself. And I think you feel like that's going to be really healing for you. It's not just going to be hopeful. I mean, hope, the star does, it does symbolize hope, right? But I think that this hope that you have in your sort of like renewed sense, like ability to sort of express your own ideas, is not just going to give you hope, but I think it's going to be very healing as well. The star, stands for healing and for hope. All right, let's get a little bit more info. All right. Okay, so, I think it's important for you to realize that a lot of the time that you're feeling overwhelmed, or that somebody came in under like one pretense, right? The emperor came in to rescue you, but just ended up like oppressing you and, getting you addicted maybe to them. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, sometimes your decisions play a role, of course, right? Especially if you're an adult. I mean, everybody should be an adult, but listening to this. But, if you've had some life experience, your choices have certainly played a role, right, in ending up in these situations with these paradoxical people who come in to save you but just hurt you. However, it's also just a matter of chance sometimes, right? Like, and I think what this is saying is that, like, yeah, maybe you've had a lot of, crappy experiences or experiences that were similar. And, maybe in some sense you're a common denominator, right? But I don't think you're all to blame. I think you can let go of that and you can say, like, look, sometimes it's just the way the ball bounces. And I'm going to make the ball bounce differently next time because I can. And you can. All right. Okay. All right. So, you have what it takes. You have what it takes to... You don't need this King of Kings. I'm not saying this King of Kings is the worst and you should never talk to them again. Maybe they're great, but you don't need them right now, right? You have it on your own. You are strong on your own, and you can get everything that you need. This is all about, like, happily ever after generational wealth. You can do this. I'm not saying you don't need partners, because you will, but I think you're at a point of where you need a little bit of, like, confirmation bias. So it's good to challenge yourself, right? But, like, I think at this point, like, people that make you feel that you don't know, like, you don't know up from down, they can kick rocks, because you do know up from down. And when you move forward, one step at a time, you get where you need to be. All right, let's get some timing information for you about this sort of self-confidence journey that you're on, which is going to end up really well. All right. So long as you stick to it, you got to stick to it. You got to, stay strong in your convictions. All right, yeah, believe in the impossible. So, like, these people have been coming in and they're telling, these people have been selling you an impossible dream and telling you that, like, what you really have is impossible. So, yeah, maybe it seems impossible to you now because you've never filled your own cup, but please, you have what it takes, and you need to believe in that. You need to believe in that. All right. Let's see. I don't know when the next blue moon is, but okay. All right. Full moon in Libra, so that's in about 6 months from now. Win-win outcome. Yeah, so like I'm not here to say that like these people who come in to help you suck. I hope I made that clear. But I think if you go out on your own, like that will be best for you. All right. And luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius, so that's coming up. So I think you're going to have a very good, I think you had some bad luck. And I think now things are turning. And I think, your change in perspective is going to be a big part of that. All right, so that is what I have for you. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. All right, let's get started. Third time's the charm. All right, so if you chose this purple candle, this is going to be your reading. I'm going to start out by getting a little bit of information about who you are right now, and then we'll see what we might want to say moving forward. Okay. So you are the seer, number 10. The seer. All right. The seer peers into the crystal with self-awareness and is open to new possibilities and experiences. Third eye, awareness, sensitivity, acknowledgement, unlocking, opening. All right. So you are in this time of your life where you are really seeing things for what they are, and you can really trust your intuition. And this might not have always been something that you really experienced, or is that really at the forefront of who you were or the way that you sort of saw yourself in the world. But now this is becoming a much larger part of who you are, and you're really starting to listen to your intuition, trust yourself. Third eye, I'm not an expert. I mean, a million tarot card readers on YouTube know a whole lot more about chakras than I will, ever know, or certainly that I know more than I know now. But it certainly has something to do with your intuition and maybe even like psychic abilities, if you believe in that. And if you don't believe in that, then whatever is, analogous to psychic abilities. All right. Which I believe would be intuition. Okay. So I want to get a little bit more information about what you are sort of nurturing in your life right now. So what are you sort of nurturing, or what do you need to nurture? What do you need to sort of bring out of yourself at the moment? All right, unity. Embrace unity and connection with others. Together we are stronger. All right, so the light attributes are cooperation, community, and harmony, and the shadow attributes are isolation, division, and conflict. Okay, so putting these two things together, sometimes when we're sort of having like a spiritual awakening, as this card sort of indicates, we might sort of keep to ourselves a little bit. We might not branch out as much as we would in other times of our life. So this is saying that right now, you have really sort of developed some deep personal gifts, and that, oh, God, get out of there, and that's great. And you got there by through introspection, but now it's time to find a way to share what you've learned with the rest of the world. All right, let's get a little bit more information about how you are nurturing this aspect, this unity, this ability to sort of connect with others. All right, so this is about how you're using where you are, using your sort of intuition, your spiritual awakening to connect with others. All right, so the adventurer. All right, so I think, you spent a lot of time sort of looking inward, figuring out who you are, and now it's time to go out and share that with the world, and it's time to really see that as an adventure. Very often it can sort of seem very daunting to go out into the world, but it's also really exciting and not something that you would ever want to deny yourself, especially if you want to, if you want this for yourself, if you want to be able to connect with others. This adventure, this sense of adventure, is really a big part of how you're going to make that happen. All right, so what's the other side of this? How else are you helping yourself use this sort of spiritual awakening, this new knowledge that you have, to connect with others? All right. So you haven't given up hope, and that's very, very important. So I think that these two things go together pretty well. So in order for us to go out and have an adventure, we have to have some sense of hope and wonder that adventure is going to, yield something, be worthwhile, be exciting, enrich our lives and the lives of others in some way. So whether you feel hopeful or not, hope and a sense of adventure and a sense of hope for what that adventure might bring, especially how it brings you into better connection with others, is how you're going to get to the next stage, how you're going to make the most of this stage and move on to the next. All right. So I think I just want a little bit more information before I get to the tarot. So let's use these guys. Okay, a little more information. These have both whatchamacallit, they have reversal meaning, so we'll shift that around. Oh boy. So you have expansion. I guess we'll take both. And repetition. Okay, and I have expansion coming on top of repetition. So I'm going to say they're both important. However, your habits, what it is that you're repeating and doing over and over again, these have got to be ones that are in service of your expansion. And it makes sense to put these right next to the adventurer, because sometimes the adventurer just goes out and does their thing without any plans, and that's fine, that's great. But I think you're maybe a little bit beyond that. I think maybe your expansion does have to do with these habits that you have cultivated. All right, just a little bit more information, and then we'll get to the tarot. Okay, so how do you move from the spiritual awakening that you just had, to unity? So love. So that makes sense. All right, so I think it's okay for you to hope for love. I think that's an okay thing for you, a place for you to be. And I think it's okay for you to give love. I'm not saying indiscriminately, of course. I don't want you to get taken advantage of. I want you to be able to give love where it's needed and deserved, and where it doesn't deplete your resources. But giving love in a sense that gives both you hope and gives others a sense of hope, where you can sort of bond over that hope, I think is where you need to focus your attention and energy. All right, so let's get some more information just about how you can best connect with others, because that seems to be your what you are cultivating at this point right now. Okay. So now we have the tarot. Oh, all right. So the Magician. So we can see here that you are quite you are quite able right now. You have lots of, I guess, manifestation abilities. So the Magician card is the second card in the major arcana. So it starts out with the Fool. First person that the Fool comes across is the Magician, and the Magician can pretty much do anything. So the Magician has, element, I guess, pieces, or has one of each element, right? He has the pentacles, the cups, the swords, and the wands. And the message here is that you have everything that you need right in front of you to make whatever it is that you need to have happen. So that's great. And I wouldn't be surprised if it has something to do with this, with you becoming, so in tune with who you are, your intuition, how you think and feel. All right, so you have everything that you need to manifest this unity with others. All right, so what exactly, how exactly, can you use these tools to the best of your advantage, for the greatest good for yourself and for others? All right, so Happy Squirrel is a card in this deck. I'm going to have to look him up. I know he's good, but I don't know his meaning off the top of my head. Oop. All right, Strength. Okay, just put it over here. So far you only have Major Arcana, which is kind of exciting. All right, so the Strength card essentially is about, standing your ground, being strong. And I think that's probably something that your tools will give you this extra strength. All right, Knight of Pentacles. So this might be a very slow journey, and that's all right. So the Knight of Pentacles, we all know, is the slowest moving knight in the deck. So you might have to have some patience here. Nothing wrong with that. Page of Wands. All right. So the Page of Wands, I sort of see this guy as, he's super passionate. He's also super young and kind of innocent, and doesn't really know maybe what to do with his passions. So you might feel like that sometimes, but you just have to remember that slow and steady wins the race. And you are very strong, and you have everything that you need. And we'll come back to that Happy Squirrel. All right. All right, the World. So the World means a completion. So I think this phase of introspection where you really have to sort of now branch out, expand, and go on your adventure. Hope for the best. Remember that you're, surrounded with love, and that you can always give love to yourself. I think this means that your phase of going inward is now over, is really over. You have done it, and now it's time to move on. All right, let's learn a little bit about this Happy Squirrel before we move on. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright, so happy squirrel. The happy squirrel is a vague and mysterious mendicant, secretly scurrying to and fro, up and down the world tree. What has he unearthed this time? Is this acorn a seed that needs planting to bring an interesting idea to fruition, or a tantalizing treat to be enjoyed right now? Truly an unknown factor. There's much here to learn from this happy chap who has cleverly stored away exactly what he needs to now enjoy his moment in the sun. Okay, so yeah, I think this is talking about, again, it's just like sort of giving a little bit more information about this magician, about how you have everything that you need. And this is about, so the squirrel, I guess, harvests his acorns, right? And I think you really harnessed your wisdom here. Harvest your wisdom here. And now you can harness it and share it with others. So I just want to get a little bit more clarification here. All right, so let's clarify this magician. All right. So King of Swords. It's going to be very important for you as you transition into this next phase to really blend your intuition with logic. So the King of Swords is sort of like the epitome of all sort of clear, logical thinking and speaking. So I think that is a big part of it. So I think speaking is going to be key for you moving forward. I think, learning to speak clearly, which is something that I've been able to do, but I've kind of been, personally, I've been like knocked down quite a bit over, the last few years, and or maybe longer than that, and I've really lost some confidence. I even notice right now in this reading that I'm very nervous. So maybe that's a big key element for you, as well, that really just believing that you really did get something, not just for yourself to survive, but something that you can share with others as well. All right, so happy squirrel, what have you harvested here? Okay, so Five of Cups is about disappointment. And I think that some of the wisdom that you have harvested, maybe has come from your disappointment. Maybe I'm sort of nervous here and sort of thinking about, my lack of confidence, etc., and my disappointment, because maybe that's something that you can relate to as well. But just because you've had disappointments doesn't mean that those have no positive value, right? You can learn from your disappointments. You can grow from your disappointments. You can use your disappointments to benefit yourself and others. So I think that's a key challenge for you. All right, strength. Let's clarify some strength. The Fool. Okay. So I think this is saying that, really you can hope for the best. You can go out there and hope for the best, even in spite of this, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't, obviously everybody can be hurt, but you are a lot stronger than you think, and you have everything that it takes to go out and find this, find this adventure and connect with others that way. All right, Knight of Pentacles, tell me about that. All right. No, I like that so much. We can use both of them. All right, so you have the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So I'm going to say that your passions, so the Ace of Wands is the first card in the deck. The Queen of Wands is first card in the suit. The Queen is the second to last in the suit, and this suit of Wands is all about passion. So I think this is saying that your evolution from the beginning of your passions, from the beginning to its final form, is a slow burn, but a burn it still is. It's still you know, you still have quite a bit of fire, even if it might be going slowly. All right, Page of Wands. All right, that's my goddaughter talking. All right, okay. She's very emphatic. Oh my God, she's gonna laugh when she hears that. Okay, so, oh my goodness. All right, so Page of Wands. Page of Wands is a young person. My goddaughter is a young person. Maybe there's a young person in your life that, you know, you need to share wisdom with, or that maybe you need some confidence with, or that maybe just, you know, maybe you're that young person. Maybe this is your first adventure that you're going on. Depends on each person's situation. All right, Page of Wands. All right, the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to say that this means, oh gosh, what would these mean together? So Page of Wands is the first of the court cards among the wands, right? So sort of like the young, naive, like not naive, but like young, excited kid, right? And Wheel of Fortune, it really is just about fortune. So it's about, its meaning is sort of comes from the cards that it's around. So your fortune, your stroke of luck, has you in this state of being this like young, excited person who has an adventure to go on, who has a lot to learn. But don't forget, you've already learned a lot. All right? So just because you have a lot more to learn, it doesn't negate everything that you have up here. And in fact, you probably wouldn't be able to learn so excitedly if you hadn't cultivated your inner knowing. All right, the World. Oh, nope. Let's get these back together. Okay, the World. All right, Page of Swords. So another page. So again, this is a page. So it's going to be the youngest member of the court cards. And swords are all about, you know, speech and thought. Clear speech, clear thought. So I think this is coming back over here about your, really using your speech and your thought to connect with others. So I think that's my, that's what I have for you. I'm going to do a little bit of information on timing. All right. But essentially, before I get to that, I just want to say sort of the moral of this reading. So basically, you've spent a lot of time on your own. Okay. And that's been very good for you. You've learned a lot. You've got kind of shut out all that extra noise that tells you how to feel and how to think, and that's great. But now it's time to come and share what you learned with others. So you may have shut in because other people have hurt you, and it looks like, you know, something like that has certainly happened, right? Right. So, okay, it looks like something like that certainly has happened. You've certainly had some disappointments, but that's like really the only negative card in this whole deck. So, my message to you is to please remain hopeful. Remember that life is an adventure and that others will benefit from what you have to say. Okay? So right now you're at the end of this cycle of where you really got to know yourself and who you are, and you're just at the beginning of this cycle of sharing your insights through your speech with others. So that is my story for you. I'm sticking to it. Let's get some timing information over the next, let's say, next year. What times are going to be important for you coming up? Okay, so full moon in Taurus. So that's coming up really quickly. So your dreams need a practical plan. So make this plan to sort of start on your journey to share your information with others. All right. All right, new moon in Libra. So that would be in about 6 months from now. You might be connecting with others romantically. So that's always exciting. You know, we always want that. It's always a good part of life. All right. And one final timing card. All right, full moon in Libra. So that, I believe, would just happen or would happen in exactly a year from now. So it looks like this whole strategy of, you know, using your speech, your words, to connect with others is going to give you a great year, so long as you ground it with a practical plan. It looks like you're probably going to find love halfway through this year, and it's going to end. It's going to end with a win for you. So, purple candle looks good. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.